to question 4 of the tutorial sheet. So question 4 has two major parts. So it has the two types of differentiation in it. It has the product rule and the quotient rule. What is the product rule? Product rule is where you have been given two functions that are multiplying each other. So that's why we call it product. Then we have the quotient rule. This is where two different functions are dividing each other. So both of them have two different formulas. So let's look at question A. So question where says y is equal to exponent x sine x. So exponent x is a function, it's alone. Even sine x is a function. So that's what, and they are doing what, multiplying. So that's a quotient law. So let's look at it. So y is equal to exponent x sine x. So what's the formula for the product law? So for the product law, the formula is y over dx is equal to v u prime v plus v prime u. So now what, so let's just say, let's try to identify what do we have and what don't we have. So we'll say let u equal to e exponent x and let v equal to sine x. Then u prime is equal to differentiation of exponent x. So the differentiation for exponent x is just exponent x itself. Then v prime with differentiation of sine x is equal to cos x. Then you just put this into the formula. So u prime with exponent x. Then v prime multiplied by v it's this. So it will be exponent x sine x. Then plus v prime. What's v prime? V prime with cos x multiplied by u is exponent x. You have found your answer. Then let's go to part B. So part B says y is equal to ln x cos x plus exponent 5 to the power x. So ln x itself is a function, cos x is a function. So you are using the product rule and the additive rule. So you do first with the products, then you also now do what, the addition. So for this one, we'll do it's y is equal to ln x cos x plus exponent 5x. So even this one, we have the product rule here. So for this one, we'll just go direct with it. So dy over dx is equal to. So we'll first start by differentiating this one. So it will be d ln x dx cos x plus, this time we would leave this one the way it is, so it will be ln x, then d. So where there's y, we'll put cos x over dx, then plus the exponent x, so over dx. So even this one, you're doing what, differentiating it alone. Then you just go now to the final answer. So we said differentiation of ln x is just what? See, 1 over x. So 1 over x times cos x, it will be cos x over x. Then plus ln x will just be like the way it is. Differentiation of cos x, it's negative sine x. So it will be negative sine x ln x. Then plus differentiation of exponent 5x is just 5 exponent 5x. So for exponentials, we said differentiation, you first differentiate the power. So the power is 5x. Differentiation of 5x is simply 5 multiplied by the entire function itself. So we are done with this function. So you can just expand it now. Since you have a negative here, you have a positive here, so you can just simply expand it to get your final answer. Then you go now to part C. Part C is y is equal to y is equal to x squared minus 1. So here we have x squared minus 1 over sine x. So looking at this question here on part C, this is a product rule. So for the product rule, this is a quotient rule because we have a numerator, we also have a denominator. So y is equal to x squared minus 1 over sine x. So for this one, the formula for differentiation is dy over dx is equal to u prime v minus v prime u over v squared. Then now let's identify what we have. So we'll say so the power is always u. So what's the power? U equal to x squared minus 1. Then v equal to sine x. Then u complement. Differentiation of x squared is 2x. Differentiation of negative 1, it will just be 0. Then v prime is differentiation of sine x is cos x. Then you just come to replace in your formula here. So when you start replacing, it will be equal to, what is u prime? U prime will see 2x multiplied by sine x minus v prime will see cos x. So this you are putting it in brackets because of this negative should be distributed. Cos x multiplied by what? V. Which is u. You are multiplying it by u. U is x squared minus 1 over v squared. What's our v? Our v is sine. So it will be sine x squared. From where you finish it yourself. So this square, don't do anything with it. You just leave it like this. You don't have to follow it like expanding. You just leave it like this. So you just mostly deal with the power here. So we are done with this part. Then we go to part D. Part D is saying y is equal to ln x over cos x. So part D is y is equal to ln x over cos x. So even this one, you're doing the same thing. So we already know the formula. So from the formula, we'll just say let u equal to ln x, then v equal to cos x, then v complement is equal to, or v prime is equal to, what's the differentiation of cos x? It's negative sine x. What's the derivative of in x? It's 1 over x. Then you set the formula, it's dy over dx is equal to. So now for you to remember the formula properly, start with v. You just say v multiplied by u prime minus u prime u multiplied by v prime. So you start with a normal v, you end with a v prime over v squared. That's how you remember. A normal v, u prime. A normal u prime, v prime over v squared. So you start with a v and end with a v prime over v squared. So having this information here, you just come and replace it in your equation and you'll find the answer for part D. Then let's go to part E. So part E is y is equal to exponent 3x over x squared. Just looking at this power, this one here, you can see that you have which one? You have a product law. This is a product, so e to the power exponent 3, it's a function, and x is a function. So we also have x squared. So we'll first deal with the power first. From the power, we differentiate the power. Then we find the answer for dy over dx. Then we also now go back to the quotient. So for this one, I'll answer it in more detail. So y is equal to y is equal to exponent 3x over x squared. So first, let's deal with the power itself alone. So first, let's deal with the power for us to simplify things easily. So we'll say let this one equal to u. So u equal to e power 3. Then x, what should be our x? Okay, let's just split b equal to x. Then u prime will be exponent 3. It's just give, it will give you 0 point something. So you just put a 0 here. Then b prime will give you a 1. So for the formula for the product too, we said it will be u complement b plus b complement u. So let's say what's our u complement? Our u complement is 0 multiplied by our b it's x plus b complement it's 1. U it's exponent 3. So on top here you only have exponent 3. So y is, you remain with y is equal to exponent 3 over x squared. Then now we'll say let u equal to exponent 3 and v equal to x squared. So our u prime will be, so exponent 3 will give you 0 point something, so you just put a 0 here. Then v prime will give you 2x. Then for the formula from the product which with dy over dx is equal to, so for this is a quotient rule. So for the quotient rule it will be v multiplied by u complement minus u multiplied by v complement over v squared, which is equal to, what's our v? Our v is x squared. Then what's our u prime? Our u prime is 0 minus u, we have exponent 3. Then v prime we have 2x over, what's our v? So on the denominator here we have x squared squared, which will just be equal to this. You have a 0 here, so it will remain 0 here, minus 2x multiplied by exponent 3 to be 2x exponent 3 over, so x power 4. So it will only be negative 2x exponent 3 over x. So if you want, you can leave it x squared squared. There is no problem with this. So for this one, if you want, you can answer it component wise. You first deal with the product rule alone, or if you want, you can just answer it straightforward. But I advise you just answer it all in one. But anything, you can also get marks for both of them as long as you are indicating what you are doing. So you just show them you did this, you get the final answer as it is as well. So product rule and quotient rule are two different things, but yet they are very easy. There's nothing difficult about them as long as you just know the formula. So we said for the product rule, the formula is u prime v plus v prime u. So for the product rule, you do what? You add. Remember, when you go back to logarithm, where you have product, you add, quotient, you divide. Then for the quotient rule, what do? The formula is dy over dx is equal to v multiplied by u prime minus u multiplied by v prime over u squared. As simple as that. So with these two formulas, when you just know the formulas, you can answer any questions. You don't just have to master an answer, you just have to know the formulas. That's all. So we are done with this part of the tutorial sheet. So we move on further.